Hi guys, welcome back. It's Thursday, so I'm back again with another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created these unicorn burst tumblers. I did a stainless steel tumbler as well as a reusable Starbucks cold cup. To seal these, I use Brite Tone from the CRYSTALAC company. So if that's something that you're interested in, please continue watching. As always, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them down in the comment section. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I will be uploading a video every Thursday from now on. So go ahead and drop any video suggestions that you guys might have down in the comment section. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. So to paint my tumblers, I did use acrylic paint. I purchased these pastel colors from Michaels. They are from the Craft Smart brand. This one's called Light Yellow, Pale Blue, Grape Taffy, and then this pink color is called Light Pink. I also have this other pink color from Walmart, but I didn't end up using it. These did come in a pack of 4. I did prep my tumblers using spray paint. I used this semi-gloss white spray paint. And then I did go ahead and allow my cups to gas off for 48 hours. I do have videos on how I prep both my stainless steel and my Starbucks cups. I will go ahead and link both of those videos down below in the video description. I purchased these brushes from the Dollar Tree. They are from the Wet n Wild brand. They're actually makeup brushes, but they blend very well. So I went ahead and purchased 4 of them to go ahead and add each color with. You want to also have something where you're gonna add your acrylic paints to. And then for my Starbucks cup, I did go ahead and cover the logo. So I went ahead and started with the purple color. I just went ahead and did just 2 swatches of each color. I started off with the purple and just in a random spot, just went ahead and added 2 swatches of the purple, and then I went in with the yellow. And right beside it, I went ahead and did 2 swatches of the yellow, and then I went in with the pink, and then did the same, the 2 swatches, 2 lines, and then I lastly went in with the blue color and did 2 swatches of that, just going up and down, kind of like on the entire tumbler, from the top to the bottom. And then I went ahead and tried to blend that as well as I could, kind of running each color on top of each other just a little where they meet. And that helped well with trying to blend in the colors. Here you can see me trying to rub each color kind of in that line where it meets, so that there won't be such a harsh line in between each color. Just kind of run each color on top of each other to where it's well blended. I found that if you dry off the brush and leave just a little bit of paint, it helps with trying to blend each color. I just ran it right there on that same line where each color met, and it helped blend in each color. So here I'm starting with the stainless steel, and for this one I did do 3 swatches of each color all around the cup, just because I wanted thinner lines, thinner swatches for this one. So I went ahead and did the same process, added 3 swatches of each color all around the cup. And I added all 4 colors on this cup as well. And I just kind of repeated the same step, added each color right beside each other, and then try to blend it as well as I could. I'm sorry if for both cups I did go off of frame a lot. I was trying to get them to mix as well as I could. So I was trying to focus on getting them to blend. So you see that in each harsh line, I just kind of ran my brush right there on that harsh line, and that helps with trying to go ahead and blend each color into each other to get that well blended. Once you add the glitter, you won't see such a harsh line. As I mentioned earlier, just try to add each color with enough acrylic paint, and then when you're trying to blend, just go ahead and dry off most of the color off your paintbrush, and then just run it through that in between each color, and that helps to help blend each color. So after I was satisfied on how my colors blended, I went ahead and allowed the acrylic paints to dry for an hour before I go ahead and spray paint the top and the bottom. I let them dry for an hour just so that they'll be dry to the touch. And then now I'm going to go ahead and spray paint the top part and the bottom part of each tumbler to go ahead and just leave that middle part with that flawless type of effect, just to show that burst of colors in the middle part. So here I'm going and prepping my Starbucks cup to go ahead and spray paint it. I'm going to go ahead and cover the lip part and also the logo. So here I'm going to go ahead and spray paint the top and the bottom of both tumblers to kind of just leave that flawless burst of colors in the middle of the cup. I'm going to just kind of ombre the white spray paint from the top part of the cup going downward, and I'm going to do the same for the bottom of the cup. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of ombre the spray paint going upward here. And you do that by just kind of aiming at the very bottom of the cup and kind of allowing the spray paint to go upward. And you just kind of leave that burst of colors right in the middle. So once you go ahead and add your glitter, you'll have that unicorn burst effect right in the middle. Here I'm going to start and go ahead and spray paint the stainless steel, and I'm going to do the same. To get that ombre effect, you kind of just aim at the lip of the tumbler and then just kind of allow the spray paint to go downward. And you do that and you go ahead and turn the tumbler all the way around and do the same thing. And then at the bottom, you kind of just aim at the very bottom of the cup, as I mentioned earlier. And you allow the spray paint to go like towards the top of the tumbler to go ahead and leave that flawless ombre effect going upward. And the goal is, like I said, to just leave that middle part, that burst of colors in the middle. So now that I have this flawless burst of colors in the middle of both my cups. I'm going to go ahead and allow my cups to gas off for 48 hours since I did use spray paint. This will also help my acrylic paints to dry off well. Acrylic paint does dry relatively slow, so this 48 hours will allow my spray paint to gas off and also allow my acrylic paints to dry off very well. This is what the Brite Tone looks like. It is a non-toxic water-based top coat. It is an epoxy alternative. This is what I'm going to be using to glitter my tumblers as well as gloss them up, seal my glitter. You can purchase it at the CRYSTALACstore.com. I'll go ahead and link it down in the video description for you guys. So now that my tumblers have gassed off and this acrylic paint has completely dried off, I'm going to go ahead and glitter my tumblers. I'm going to be using this glitter from Walmart. It's called Snowy Surprise. And what I did here with this glitter was I went ahead and separated the finer glitter from the chunky glitter. And to do that, I used a strainer. I purchased this one at the Dollar Tree. And what I did was I just poured a little bit on there, and I went ahead and separated the finer glitters from the chunky, and I'm going to go ahead and use the chunkier glitter on the middle part of the tumbler and then the finer glitters on the top and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and cover my logo on my Starbucks cup, as well as go ahead and tape off the rim. I'm not really sure why I'm wearing a finger glove here, because I end up taking it off when I start adding my Brite Tone, so I'm not really sure why I even had it on. So I'm going to go ahead and add a thin coat of Brite Tone and to add my glitter with. I put my Brite Tone in this condiment bottle, and I'm just adding a thin coat all over my tumbler, making sure that my entire tumbler is covered. Make sure you have something to catch your glitter with, and I'm going to go ahead and start by adding glitter to the top and the bottom of my tumbler. I'm going in with the fine glitter and small chunky. It's kind of like a blend of fine glitter and small chunky glitter, and I'm adding that to the top and the bottom, kind of in an ombre effect, going downward and upward, making sure that is well ombreed, going upward and downward. And then in the middle part of my tumbler, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on the Snowy Surprise glitter straight from the glitter jar. And using my finger, I'm just making sure, I'm just trying to flatten it out down as much as I could while the Brite Tone is still wet. After I added my glitter in the middle, I went ahead and just made sure that it was well blended, and I added a little bit more of the top and the bottom glitter mix. So here I'm going to go ahead and do the Starbucks cup. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add a thin coat of Brite Tone, and then I'm going to go ahead and glitter the top and the bottom. I'm going to start off by glittering the top part and the bottom part in an ombre effect. The bottom going kind of in an upward motion, and then the top going in a downward motion, just to kind of get that ombre effect. And then doing the same, adding that glitter straight from the jar, from the glitter container onto the middle part. And then again, going in with that fine and small chunky that I mixed up, just to kind of cover any missing spots. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the logo that I covered, as well as the lip that I covered. After this, I'm going to go ahead and allow both cups to spin for an hour and then dry for an additional 3 hours. So after my cup has dried for a total of 4 hours, I'm going to go ahead and seal and flatten down my glitter using E6000 spray. I'm going to go ahead and spray my entire tumbler using E6000 spray. I'll go ahead and link everything I use down in the video description. I'm going to give my cup a thin, even spray all throughout the cup, and then I'm going to allow that to dry for 30 to 40 minutes. After the 30 to 40 minutes, I'm going to go in with parchment paper, and I'm going to go ahead and flatten down my glitter. I'm going to use a parchment paper to flatten out my glitter as much as I could. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap my cup into the parchment paper, and using my hands, I'm going to go ahead and flatten down my glitter as much as possible, using a little bit of pressure and kind of pushing down towards the table, just trying to flatten the glitter out as much as I could. You want to flatten down your glitter as much as possible, and that helps with the overall amount of coats that your cup is going to need to achieve a glossy cup. And I usually repeat this step twice. I go ahead and after this I add another spray of E6000 spray. I allow it to dry off for 30 to 40 minutes. After the 30 to 40 minutes, I go ahead and roll my cup in parchment paper and flatten down my glitter as much as I could. And then I spray one last time. After that third spray of E6000, I do allow my cup to dry, sometimes overnight or for a couple hours, just to allow all the E6000 sprays to go ahead and dry off well before I start coating my cup with Brite Tone. So now that my glitter is flattened and sealed, I'm going to go ahead and start coating my cup with Brite Tone. I'm going to add my first coat of Brite Tone, just a thin coat of Brite Tone, and I'm going to allow my cup to spin for an hour and then dry for an additional 3 hours. I didn't film each coat that I gave my cup, but every coat is added the same as I mentioned, just a thin coat, just enough to where your cup isn't dripping, and you want to allow it to dry for a total of 4 hours, allow it to spin for an hour to allow it to self-level, and then dry for an additional 3 hours. So here you see me giving my cup a third coat of Brite Tone. As I mentioned earlier, every coat is added the same, just a thin coat, just enough to where your cup isn't dripping, and then you do want to allow your cup to spin for an hour and then dry for an additional 3 hours. You do want to sand your cup every 3 coats. This helps smooth out your cup, and it helps with the overall amount of coats that you're going to need to achieve a glossy finish. I sand using 400 grit sanding paper, and like I said, I sand every 3 coats to help smoothen out my cup. After sanding, you do want to just clean your tumblers using a lint-free cloth. It's not recommended to wash your tumblers with soap or just with water, just to avoid any water exposure to the cup. So you just want to go ahead and wipe it with a lint-free cloth, and then you want to go ahead and continue coating with your Brite Tone. So here I'm adding my 4th coat of Brite Tone. I'm going to go ahead and just add a thin coat, and then after adding my coat of Brite Tone, I'm going to go ahead and do the same, allow my cup to spin for an hour and then dry for an additional 3 hours. So here I'm giving my cups their last coat of Brite Tone. Like I said, I didn't film every coat that I gave my cups, but I just continued coating until I was satisfied with my gloss finish. You want to continue coating until you can no longer feel the glitter, and you want to be sure that you are sanding in between each every 3 coats, so that you can help smoothen out your cup, and that helps with the overall amount of coats that you're going to need to achieve a glossy cup. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask down in the comment section, or you can also send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is melissacrafter00. Like I said, I'm here to help. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.